Hello, my friends, and welcome to tonight's episode of The Astral Calling, here on twitch.tv/tabletop rolls.
There's a the?
I mean, Astral Calling, just going into it, I feel like saying of this episode of The Astral Calling, the name is Astral Calling. But
I wasn't criticizing, I was just curious.
yeah, it's more or less like just so I can have somewhat proper grammar. I try as much as like my regular grammar ability betrays me. For most
Betrays
things,
you.
I do try to have proper grammar.
And you know what, we love you for you're always trying, and we love you for that.
Yeah, it's funnier when you try. I had to. I couldn't help it.
That's valid, Chad.
I adore you, Chad.
Amazing.
It's fine.
Just brutal.
As a friend once said to me,
Start.
it's do not fear going slowly, only a standing still. As long as you keep trying.
Wise words from our wise cleric.
The amount of dread that I'm now feeling on my inside aside. Let's get into some announcements. Here are the announcements. Other shows on the channel. Tomorrow night, some filler form Assault and Strategy. We are down at Crystal Calf tomorrow, so Chad, Matt, and I are going to do something. We'll figure it out tonight after stream. Then, Sunday.
Red Death.
Then, Sunday. Stardew Sunday, playing through Stardew Valley Extended Edition. We are going for perfection, and I need to decide which of the new NPCs I'm going to romance. I'm debating between two of them because I just like them both a lot. Then on Monday we have the Strength of Thousands AP. It's a Pathfinder 2E show adventure path. Matt runs it. McKenna plays a witch bat. I play a cultist frog.
A bat witch.
I play a cultist frog. And we have a spider alchemist. And we have a
Whisper Elf Bard.
Whisper Elf Bard. We have had so many players in this game. That my brain just... Ooh. Then, speaking of having a whole bunch of players, the League of Amazing Adventurers on Wednesday. We are now in Lightfall proper. Our party needs to figure out how to kill a god, but before they do that, they need to finish infiltrating the Lord of Light's current church that's been set up in Brighthall after a brush with some missionaries, which I'm amazed did not end in violence. Our parties decided to investigate them. They discovered that the ice cream the church was feeding to the people of the city had a item in it known as angel dust that allowed celestials to possess people who were eating that ice cream. I know after, but I already named it that, and it had already become the canonical name when I discovered the connection, Chad. So I can't.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's even
We
better.
learned that in like 5th grade Dare. They're like, this is what they call
This is a
cocaine,
drug.
ice, angel dust,
Not
and
a
you just sit
thing.
there like,
Yup.
Not a thing in Canadian education. Well, like drug
You guys
education
don't have
is.
Dare?
No, we
In fairness,
don't
Dare
have
was
Dare.
more like giving
That
us
is
a
an American
menu
thing.
than it was actually preventing
They don't,
people
no,
from
they don't have
drugs.
drugs in Canada.
No, we have
I don't
drugs.
know
No,
about that.
But we do have Snowflame, the supervillain powered by cocaine.
Do we?
This is a real character. Look it up. Snowflame. He is amazing and bizarre.
No, like a
You
lot
say
of
that with such pride, Matthew.
I just love knowing about Snowflame. It's
no,
amazing.
a lot of like Canadian
just love
anti-drug
knowing-
PSAs just scar you into not doing them by showing you these like really disturbing puppets, telling you not to put things in your mouth.
They're not that disturbing. They're just like budget Muppets.
I don't know, if
Moving-
you have a bad budget, a Muppet might be a little disturbing.
Don't hug me. I'm scared.
Moving right along. We have many players on this channel. I'm just going to go counterclockwise tonight. First up, our newest cast member, the person of Rockin', the Goblin Barbarian. We have Maya playing Rosh. I did not just flip the character name in the person's name in my head. That did not happen. It did, and I apologize for that.
Real into character.
Maya,
Hello.
where can we find you on the internet?
On the internet?
Please
I don't
find
have a
me on the internet.
I did. I
you
did
wanted your
this on
fans.
the internet.
Here, right here on
I
Twitch right
on
now.
Instagram. I will send links to Will to put that up there. I suppose
I mean,
at some point.
I think you can also put them into the Twitch chat at your
You can put
will.
in the chat.
And if
I have no
and
link
if our
to
bot,
the Twitch chat.
oh, fair enough then. If our bot blocked you, I would have just given you mod permissions like I did McKenna. Speaking of people I've given mod permissions to, Matthew. Tonight, the person responsible for the overlay, also playing Darius, and I am taking the notes from my friends. You know, the person.
Spark
not
of creation,
responsible
go
for my
be
sanity.
with you.
Yeah, look at that.
Hey.
Commission Matt to do your Twitch things. Speaking of other people you should commission, McKenna playing Eevee tonight. You find them on McKenna Rayard on TikTok. They've probably posted a TikTok right before this.
I said sure did.
What's it about,
I didn't
McKenna?
hear.
I don't know. Go watch it. Find out. They're only like 6 seconds long.
No spoilers.
Y'all, you just... you could watch them. Oh, we don't have an intro yet.
We don't have an intro yet.
I would say
We're
you could do it during the intro, but we don't have an intro yet. and
We're
that's my
not getting
fault
we're
because-
not getting the intro for this one until some specific event happens because I'm doing the Final Fantasy thing, where like you play through a little bit and then we unlock the intro.
If you kill all of our
Ooh,
characters
ooh.
and make me do all new art, I'm going to fly to Canada and throttle you.
No.
Not in a way you're gonna like. You fucking degenerate.
Oh my god.
We were all thinking it.
McKenna broke me. I apologize. Speaking of people who often break me, if you saw our fake group chat and Rose's luck, you would see me breaking quite regularly. Rose playing Luna tonight.
Yes, and it is a delight to be here. I've been looking forward to this all week.
As have I. To be honest with you, I look forward to these games. They bring me a immense amount of joy. Speaking of things that bring me immense amount of joy, yes, me and Rose are in the NP3 Spishtar Club. Woot.
Yeah, we are.
E.
Unnecessary.
So powerful.
So much fun.
I burned through everything.
Speaking of burning through everything, I think that's a great place for me to say last time on the Astral Calling. We met our entire party. We met Rosh, we met Vim, we met Darius, we met Eevee, we met Luna. And we met them as they were collecting supplies for the Sunseeker and its crew to supply the ship for their next journey into the Ambrosia Rose system, heart of the Astral Elf Empire. Yes, boom. First one, check. Next, after they collected those supplies, they were asked to collect the passengers that had booked passage with them to the Ambrosia Rose system, including Aaronhart, a young Astral Elf man in practice armor. I almost said plastic armor for a second. Who was in practice armor, who looked like they were in like this sort of like practice military uniform, basically. They were a young adult, like 16 or 17, equivalent for human years, and they were playing a game of chess with another person, a human merchant known as Valduke Orley.
Boo.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Boo.
We don't know their full story yet.
And
Don't need it.
That's
lastly,
true.
we had Millis Smithall, a gnomish social media travel blogger and influencer, who was writing a bit of a food blog for a restaurant on Gilda Garden that part of our party helped them with, and then got them back to the ship. Once everyone was collected and the ship was fully supplied, the Sunseeker took off, and it began to enter into a planar dive. Think of it as a shortcut between places in astral space. Upon entering the planar dive, it was travel as normal. Eevee went with Luna and played a strategy game with Aaronhart and Valduke, which resulted in Luna mowing her way through it and winning.
You love to see it.
which confounded Evie. Rosh at that time was in the kitchen, making Dewdrop's life miserable
Yes.
by continually messing up the kitchen that Dewdrop had cleaned.
It just feels more lived in now.
Yes.
Like, you say messing up, I say fixing.
And lastly, Darius and Vim were wandering about the ship, doing their own thing. However, after the strategy game, Valduke began walking around and offering a drink as a customary, hey, thank you for the ride, let us celebrate this passage together, just a shot of a very strong alcohol to people. Getting a lot of the party, minus Darius, drunk.
Oops.
As well as a lot of the ship's crew. It was after that, when Valduke was up on the top deck, kind of messing around and looking at a pocket watch, that Vim noticed something funny. That watch wasn't to keep time, it was to keep a countdown. And as the countdown neared 0, Vim called it out. And Valduke revealed their true form as an adult black dragon and Captain Valduke Orly. Ha ha ha!
Boo!
Upon spreading their wings and slowing the ship down, 2 large humanoid metal figures popped into the planar dive on sort of these like large astral wave boards. Wave boards? Or
Tubular.
Windboard? No, it's like a windboard because it has a sail. Kind of like cool wind sailing their way towards the ship. We are going to be picking up right there as Captain Tross, First Officer Shishk, and Navigator Mavrival begin to rush the dragon, calling out for Dewdrop. As that's happening, here's what's going to happen. Vim, I need you to just roll me, just so I can keep track of things. Initiative.
All right.
Oh, but give me 1 second to get back onto the right one, because I was on our testing page still. Boop. Why is it saying that? That should be collateral damage.
Also, apropos of nothing, I think Chad should get an extra hero point tonight.
Why should Chad get an extra hero point tonight?
Because you didn't introduce Chad, you jerk.
Oh my fucking god!
Don't fully blame Will. I clocked it immediately and thought it would be funnier if I would.
Chad, I'm so sorry. And Chad playing Vim. I was looking at my notes for the last session. I wasn't.
You know what? I blame the fact that I left the weird little placeholder for his character art. He's so stealthy.
I'm such a bad friend. I'm sorry.
No, you said counterclockwise.
There's been entire Bluey episodes about this. I'm so sorry.
I noticed it immediately, and then I was like, oh, this is going to be a good... I had the message that I put in the Twitch chat typed and waited for your introduction for the session and then dropped it.
You get an extra hero point, Chad, because I'm a bad friend.
I mean, to be fair, well, in the 100 plus shows you've run on Twitch, I don't think you've ever forgotten to introduce someone.
I have made so many other mistakes, though, Matthew.
Yes, because you are a human being who
It's live. It
are
happens.
flawed to begin with.
I would not make it in Arjuna's Lost Belt. Anyway, Vim.
So you'd be pruned immediately.
Then no one would remember you.
Exactly. It
But Koyanska
probably will happen
would leave
in my
little
life eventually.
trinkets, little frogs around, so that I would be like, huh, why am I sad?
It's not like I'll be completely edited out of the world and all artifact descriptions or anything. So, with our prologue done, let's get right into it. Vim, the rest of the crew, including Captain Tross, who is now wielding a anchor as a sort of great axe,
Love that.
is charging towards Orly, and it appears to be keeping their attention. As Tross is sprinting forward, it's like, Vim, collect the rest of the crew. Find Myark. He will know what to do. We need to get the other passengers to safety. Go!
To my recollection, did Myark get a drink?
No, you don't know. Myark wasn't... You hadn't found them. Myark
Okay.
got it. Myark got their stuff before you. But yes, Myark.
I know some people I'd walked around following him for a bit, giving people drinks, and then he gave me a drink. So I wasn't sure who all, but
Basically,
I know some people did.
Mine is Darius and the captain, who had a drink but was strong enough to hold it off. Everyone else is poisoned.
Yeah, that is kind of my question, because I have to find these people first. So I'm going to cast Detect Poison and Disease and just use that as a beacon
Holy
to
shit. Chad, remember how I said get a
locate.
hero point because of like remember how I said get a hero point because of like me forgetting you? Never mind that. Have a hero point because that's an inspired use of this spell.
Yeah, so I'm going to use that to guide me to finding the other people.
I love it. So you're going to start heading down below deck. There are a number of pings.
Yeah.
There's a ping in the kitchen. There is a ping in a sort of just general sort of purpose room. And then there's a ping in the... There are 2 pings in the quarters area of the ship.
Given that I'm just trying to gather people, I'm just going to hit like the closest one first.
Okay. So you're going to then probably head down to the kitchen first. Then your order would be kitchen, passenger area, general purpose room. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. As you're making your way into the kitchens, you're going to hear the clinking of boards and metal, and some splintering boards from the roof are going to come out towards you. Does a 9 hit you? It shouldn't have
It does
advantage.
not.
Okay.
Does
So then, in that case, you are good to go. The splintering boards miss you, but you think you would have gotten a little bit hurt had those hit you. And you make your way into the kitchen where you see, still around their stove, Rash. Dewdrop has passed you in the hallway and is heading up to the deck. Dewdrop has like a little sewing needle staff that you noticed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess I just get in there and it's like, Captain says we have to get everybody else and
I
get
just
to the Mayar. Are you good?
Good?
I think so. I disconnected, so I missed some of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Vim's just coming in, calling out, just like, Captain says, get everybody and get to the Mayar.
Well, Mayark is the engineer, not the
Oh,
Mayark.
it's the name. I was thinking it was a title for some reason.
Yeah.
And get to Mayark then.
All right, then. I'll just finish here, and she keeps
No,
flipping.
I don't think we're finishing. Don't think we're finishing.
Can you roll me initiative, Rash?
Nah. It is 13.
Plus 13?
No. I got a.
Oh, you got a 13 earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
I will add it then in the future. I apologize. I didn't make this clear when we were doing it initially. Just make sure to click on your token before rolling initiative. And then
It'll automatically, yeah.
Cool.
All right.
I'm trying to find the video. There it is.
So then, in that case, Vim, we come back to your turn at the top of the round. What's next?
So Rash is still.
Rash is like, well, if it's that important, I guess I can stow my wares for now. And she turns off the stove and heads up.
Yeah, Vim starts heading back into the hallway to go to the next room, just calling out like, if you think dragons are important.
Fair enough. Vim, you're making your way down the hallway. There's been a little bit of damage. Like there are boards sticking up and things. It makes it kind of difficult to navigate without getting pricked. But you managed to make it to like the first sort of door in the passenger area. There are 3 pings coming from that room.
Yep, that would be where I slip into.
All right. You pop open the door. You see in that room Luna, Evie, and Erenhart.
Morley's a dragon. We have to get to Mayark.
Ooh, and as it occurs to me, this is our second
What?
episode. So this is an excellent opportunity, and Rash will have you do this again shortly then, for Evie and Luna to describe your characters once again for the audience.
Oh, yes. So Rash.
Oh, go Rash, go Vim, go Evie, and then Luna.
All right. So Rash is very small, very old. She is a goblin granny. She's got a little babushka scarf and like is generally like pretty happy-go-lucky, but also can tear it up and is very much all about the chaos. And also being like an eye of the storm in her family, because
Oh,
of her children.
No, you're good. We got you back.
Gotcha. And she usually you can usually find her wearing like a leather apron, maybe like a couple plates of armor every once in a while. She's just used to being very rough and tumble.
Nice. Also running down that hallway is, of course, Vim. Why don't you describe yourself?
Vim is
Excuse me.
little larval insectoid type creature at the moment, and he is deep like midnight blue color with little specks of almost like light coming from inside, just very faint, very dim. He's got a little bit of a fringe of kind of hair for certain moth and moth larvae have that looks like gold, like strings of gold. And he's got just a little pouch on him as he's wiggling his way through. And he's a little off kilter in general.
Evie is a little pink slime girl. Although I think right now she's probably vacillating between like a couple of different shades of pink because she's just a little bit loopy. So like sometimes it's a little bit more peachy and sometimes it's a little bit more magenta. Her features are kind of maybe oversized on her face because they are not facial features. They are just things that she has formed herself into to make it look like she has facial features like the rest of her friends do. So it's easier for them to see how she's feeling. Basically for the purpose of communication, she has formed facial features. Yeah, she is currently probably sitting at the table, probably still studying the game board where she lost.
Nice.
How could this happen to me?
Amazing. And with her is Luna, who is a cute humanoid girl with like rabbit ears and long pink hair and a big poofy purple coat and some obnoxious pink magical girl boots. And she is probably right now still failing to properly explain how she just won this game of strategy. And she was also given that drink. So she is now drunkenly poorly explaining, not explaining how she won. It's great.
I'm picturing that meme where it's like they don't know how I'm winning, that they also don't know I've been eating their pieces.
That's very Luna.
All right. Yeah, Vim, you pop in, you see that scene going about. You see just Aaron Hart, who has basically started unpacking but hasn't gotten that far. Aaron Hart is a young astral elf. To give a human equivalent, they're 16, 17 years old. So nearing adulthood, but not quite there. And they're very much a little bit affected. You can see them kind of stumbling and a little bit seeming like a little bit hazy. And they're still in their like practice, by the looks of it, armor. It's very much like fabric that has padding over top of it, and obvious padding. It looks basically like someone who was like in the middle of a gym class where they were like doing like practice combat drills, but that's just what he's wearing. And yeah, Vim, go ahead.
Yeah, just kind of pokes in a little bit, and yeah, just announces his dragon, and Captain says, "Get to my ark."
Do mean that in a metaphorical way. I'm not good with
In a dragon way.
But how is he a dragon when he is a human?
Dragons do that.
That is interesting information. Is it a problem that he is a dragon?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why?
Because he's attacking the Oh, I should have led with that.
Oh, he's attacking.
Oh,
the
that is
ship.
bad.
Also
you should
why-
have led with that.
Also why everybody's
He's attacking
drunk.
the
Let's
ship.
go. And he just
Can't
keeps
do
moving.
that.
And he just starts keep moving.
Speaking,
That's illegal.
Attack the ship.
Speaking of
That's
that,
against
as that timing, Rash, you're just getting to that point in the hallway, but as that happens, there's like a buckling that you feel like from above y'all, and then just dripping down from like the roof, breaking through some of the boards that have broken, are these like little bits of acid. Can everyone in this room make me a DC 13 Dex save? Remember, you're poisoned.
Where am I
So it's
again?
a disadvantage. You're just in the general purpose room.
Oh wait, we have
So not here.
disadvantage on saves?
If you're poisoned, yeah.
Oh, it's a disadvantage. Let me roll one more just in case I get lower than a 5.
So
No.
That's you know what? I've got extra today.
fail,
So
fail,
I'm going
fail.
You know what? It was a hero point, I should have known.
And then Rash, you good to go?
Axe, you said?
Yep.
Trying to find my dex
It's
on the sheet.
towards
Here
the
it is.
top of the
Found
sheet.
it.
Yeah. Oh, I have to turn on advantage toggle for you. Give me 1 second.
Actually,
And I
don't
believe I
think
clicked my token
poison
this time.
does affect saving throws.
What's up?
I don't think poison affects saving throws.
Am I messing up my additions? I might be.
It
Attacks
Being
and
drunk
ability
probably
checks.
would affect like a dex save. No, I can see it.
Conditions 5E.
That's what I'm looking up. I might just be messing up my. I might be messing.
Well,
up.
A
there's
poison
that,
creature
and-
has a poison creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Oh, so that's yeah. So
I
it would
could see
still
an
be
argument
disadvantage
for
on
it.
saves. It's an ability. It's a dex
No.
check.
No, saving throws aren't ability.
Saving throws.
Saving
are
throws
their own
aren't
things.
ability checks. They're
But
separate.
like also I could see it.
Skill
Yeah.
checks.
Well,
I
Skill
mean,
checks.
Specifically
either way
alcohol.
we keep the first one. So an 11
Can we-
is a fail.
Can we keep my 23 with my hero
5
point cost?
is a fail.
Because it does make sense
23
if
is
you
a
like
success. I'll give you that one. And a
if you're trying to do
16 is a success. So the people who succeed take no damage. The rest of you will take 6 acid damage.
Yeah.
I just rolled to the side.
And then Evie, take any resistance you have or immunity if you're immune to acid.
acid.
And then everyone who's in that room can add themselves to the initiative order.
Well, okay. I'm so readable.
And me off in the other room making my fidget cube for Luna.
Nat 20, of course. Fucking Rose.
All right. Well, upon that, little Luna, I almost called you Adenia again. You are the first to react.
She's decidedly the opposite of Adenia.
You are the first to react. What do you do?
I think she's pissed off that Orly is attacking the ship, and he can't do that. So I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna give him a stern talking to.
Okay.
And so somebody should probably grab her and drive her to my arc, but she's gonna start heading in that direction.
All right. You see Luna starting to make her way down the hall towards the upper deck of the ship. Then we come to Vim.
I can't like physically do that. So Vim calls out as he starts to head down the hall. Actually, I think he flew around. He's on the other side.
That's very helpful. Thank you. And she will turn back around.
Cool. So you're now doing
As a reaction, I will turn back around.
Perfect.
And
Evie.
then, yeah, heading towards like any movement, I guess would be the general purpose area. Would just be the next target.
Yep, that's the next one.
Okay.
Evie is under the impression that this fogginess in her head is caused by alcohol. So she pulls out, let's see, maybe a large glass jug, a couple of hops, a siphon, several feet of tubing. And I would actually like to make a medicine check to unalcohol myself with brewer's tools, which, as per Xanathar's guide, is a thing I can do.
How would that work?
Wait, is that actually?
Because she's a plasmoid, she could probably just like diffuse the alcohol from her.
It is a
body.
medicine check.
And also, McKenna, I'm just going to ask you an honest question here. Was this something that you knew about beforehand, or was this something that you immediately upon becoming poisoned tracked down and are now
No.
Okay.
Because if I had known I was poisoned, this might not work because I don't know whether it was alcohol poisoning or poison.
Fair enough.
If this were something that I was making up on the spot, I would have had a poisoner's kit in my alchemy proficiencies, but I do not. I have alchemist, brewer's, thieves' tools, and tinkerer's tools.
I was more curious about like knowing about the rule that you can do that, because I didn't even know about that rule.
I was aware that Xanathar's guide had shit for the tools, and I was like, if this is an alcohol thing, I have a brewer tool proficiency. Let me just check. So it says, this tool proficiency grants additional insight when you treat someone suffering from alcohol poisoning or when you can use alcohol to dull pain.
This is amazing.
That is
Insane.
amazing. McKenna, you get a hero point for knowing a rule that I didn't even know.
Thank you.
I will wholly admit to being ignorant on that.
Xanathar's
no one
did
uses-
expand that stuff.
No one uses the Xanathar's rules for the tool supplies. I've never played with anyone who has.
Well,
But
we
as an
are.
artificer, it just makes so much sense to be looking at that.
Yes, and this is not my first time having played an artificer, so that's why I knew that.
What page
was
is it on?
fun little...
I'm curious now.
79.
Thank you.
So,
Oh wow! Holy goodness gracious! There's a lot. Oh my goodness! The min-maxer in me has just unlocked a new whole
Yeah,
world.
they've gone they've gone through quite a few.
What have you
things.
done?
Now I'm going to
I
min-max my
apologize
tool
for everyone
proficiencies
else.
too. Great. Anyway,
they're fun.
make me a medicine check.
So, yeah, and I think that's going to be at disadvantage.
Yeah,
yes, that would be a disadvantage.
Yeah.
tools and skills are both ability.
Those are
checks.
ability.
And this will be an
Yeah.
intelligence-based one. Oh, medicine.
That's still an 18.
An 18. If this was alcohol, that would have worked. You de-alcohol yourself, but there is still like this fuzziness.
But it's still poison.
You're still.
What are you doing?
I thought that I could, theoretically, if this was actually alcohol, take the alcohol out of my body, and then I would not feel...
Oh, I thought you were
What
trying
word
to
would you
drink
use
yourself
for
with a
this?
straw.
That is visually what I am doing, yes. There is slightly more science behind it, but I don't think if we are under attack that I have the time to
Just
go
full
into
invaders then.
the details about it. But it didn't work, so I don't think that we are... What word would you use for... I don't think the alcohol is what is... We have been poisoned.
That you're poisoned?
We are poisoned. Someone put
Oh, no.
poison in the... I'm assuming the alcohol. I can't get that out of me, and I can't get it out of you.
I can
which
get that
means-
out of you.
I can purify food and drink, but
I can
I
get it out of
guess-
you. It's okay, just trust me.
what if we are considered
just
food
trust
to
me.
this dragon?
Just trust me.
Okay, what did you
Okay.
have? What is your hypothesis?
The dragon is
She's
destroying
gonna
the ship
grab
as
your
we speak.
face and like
It
smush it and be
squishes.
like, she's gonna be like, you're so pretty. And I will use 5 points of lay on hand to unpoison
Oh.
you.
I thought that was
There you
going
go.
somewhere else.
Yep.
Yep, that does it.
Yep.
That's
I did know that. I did know there was a way for y'all to get unpoisoned. So.
But she doesn't. She just smushes your face and like very drunk girl in the bathroom in WeHo, just like, you're so pretty. Smush.
now with a clarity of mind that she has not possessed for the last few hours, you see her flush a deep fuchsia and just say, no one has ever called me pretty before, I think you are also very objectively aesthetically pleasing. Thank you. And then she runs. Like, she slips out of your grapple and just zooms in the direction that Vim pointed.
Rash, you just saw that interaction.
You probably get ahead.
Did I?
Yeah, you were there.
Ahead of me because my speed's only 25. You probably passed me.
Well, there's the next door, and like sticking their head out of that door is Millis. It says, "What am I missing?"
Believe that we are all a bit tipsy, and when that happens, fun things tend to happen with consensual people aboard ships.
Sorry.
And Rash starts to give the talk to Millis, but like doesn't know quite how to do it because she's also dealing with fuzzy drunk goblin brain.
Are you moving while doing this, or are you staying where you all are to do it?
She's distracted now. She's giving a talk
Okay.
This is the chaos party.
to Millis.
Vim, you just see the two of them standing back
Unless
there.
somebody tells her, reminds her, unless somebody actively reminds Rash, she's giving the talk to Millis in the hallway.
Evie and Vim have not left this hallway yet, so they can see you still. So
Imagine being seen.
So you see the parts, they fit like
okay.
and
All right.
sometimes the
McKenna.
parts
Do me a favor and roll me a d4.
A D4. Okay.
Yes, you will be 1, Rose will be 2, Maya will be 3, and Chad will be 4.
I'm 1.
Does a 10 hit you?
No.
So some boards splinter, but you managed to avoid them from stabbing you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I rolled the 1. I also have physical dice. Would you rather I roll 20?
Roll 20 so chat can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then with that, we come to Luna at the top of the round.
Okay. So now that she knows that Orly is the other direction, she's going to march sternly in that direction.
All right. So Luna starts marching towards the general purpose area with Vim and Evie and Aaronhart and Millis as well, who is just kind of following them at this point.
Boy, am I really doing a good job making this fidget cube.
Vim.
So yeah, I guess heading into the general purpose area.
When
to
you're
see
in
who's
there, you see in the center of the room, just completely focused, as like there are cracked boards around them and like sticking up, is Darius working on something.
There's like a moment of wondering, but because he can see because of the spell that he's not poisoned, so there's a little bit of questioning of like, does he not notice everything going around? But he just calls out, Darius, everybody's poisoned, dragons attacking, gotta get to my art.
Who you can ping as being 1 floor lower in like the storage area of the ship, like a cargo hold. That area though has stairs to it, so like Darius doesn't need to get wheeled. Pulley.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be the one that would be able to help with that at all.
All right.
So, yeah.
Darius, add yourself to our initiative tracker.
Huzzah!
And
Hold on a sec.
describe your character as you do.
I still haven't thought of a succinct way to do this, so I'm going to stick to our old standby. Imagine a centaur, except the horse body is a large cat body, and the human body part of the centaur is still human-shaped, but is a cat with hands and a cat face.
It's like a human sandwich where the bread is cat parts and the meat is a human torso.
That's worse.
Okay, that that went places. I was just gonna say it's like a tabaxi or leonin with a centaur-like structure.
Nightmare.
It's a
fuel.
sandwich.
Do you have
Basically-
6 paws?
I have 2 hands, like human torso hands, but then I have 4 paws.
4 paws,
Got toe
but
beans.
you don't. But your hands are like human hands, not.
My hands are
cat
human-esque
claws.
hands. I don't actually have claws on my hands. I don't think.
The torso and like
Depressing.
face and everything is cat-like though.
Very cat-like. I have very cat-like face.
Okay,
got-
yeah. So yeah,
I also
What kind of cat is it? A bobcat? That's what I'm seeing in like the pictures, like a black
It's-
cat.
So
it is kind of a tawny or not tawny colored, kind of a
I'm a bobcat.
almost like a lynx sort of kind of thing, where it's nice,
Quack
kind of yeah, very much like that. Some kind of desert cat.
I just had a bad thought. Oh,
Again?
Voice it.
Also, should be noted, I do not walk around just with the cat lower part all naked. It's got like barding, it's got like leg wraps. Things aren't
no,
just
that wasn't my
going
thought. My
through-
thought
Yeah,
was
the human part's naked, not the cat part.
No, in fact, I'm dressed very conservative for someone who has like twice the body area that most people do. I've got kind of nice blue robes, but over top of that, well made but not ostentatious sort of armor, which, and this is going to be a thing going forward, at the beginning of every day, because it's at the beginning at the end of a long rest, I have used Blessing of the Forge, and I have imbued my own armor with the Blessing of the Spark of Creation, which turns it into +1 armor. So I have +1 to my AC until such time as I either forget to do this or I change it to add +1 to my weapon instead.
important question: is the top part furry?
I have fur everywhere. It's all fur.
Follow-up question: what's the pectoral situation? Because this is important. Cats normally have like 6 going down. So
Well, here's the thing. Male cat, but pretty good gains actually, because I do a lot of time hammering with big heavy forge hammers, so pretty ripped.
So he's fucking built.
And
That's.
thus
I don't think
learned
that's.
more
I don't
about
think that
Matt's
directly
persona
answers
than we
Maya's
ever
I
question.
think she's
That was
supposed
not
to know how
my
many nips you have. But
6
great.
abs,
I didn't
6
ask about
nipples.
abs.
Now you
I
know.
asked pecs.
The chest is very human-like, except it's covered in kind of
Okay.
soft kind of beige fur with some spots.
Asking the real questions.
Get it out of your system now.
Thank you for humoring me.
Is now a good time to bring up the fact that Evie is technically naked?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at her, the silhouette is that she is wearing clothing. But if you think about it for a minute, you're like,
It's just her.
that's just slime. That's just more slime.
In fairness,
We're in the future.
Is Vim
People don't-
also naked?
Vim
People don't think
is.
about this.
Vim is.
Yeah!
It's just
How do you put clothes on a larva and still let him walk?
Swaddled like a
It's
baby.
like a little sweater.
Oh, wait, that's cute.
At best, you could do like a cape.
It'd be like a little tube. It'd
He's
be
got like a little.
sweater
His,
tube.
his leather armor is like a cape.
It's like a knit cylinder.
Infinity scarf!
So, question: have I been made aware that, other than possibly the rocking of the ship, have I been made aware now that something is going on?
Yeah.
But I am way down the initiative order, so I'm not going to say what I'm going to do.
Evie, you get to that room. You see Darius working on something. Anything you want to do?
Darius, dragon, bad. We're going to Myurk. I keep going.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way down towards the cargo bay. Rosh?
I see everybody else running, and I'm like, oh, right. Got to dragon now.
Oh, Maya.
Maya only freezes on...
I know, it's
Her
so
turn.
funny because when anyone else is talking...
Going, and I look at Millis. How's it going? Did it catch anything on the
Yeah,
mic?
it catches it. You're just you freeze and then it catches up. Comcast.
So I look at Millis and I'm like, did you want to come?
I am not staying.
Can I assess how squishy she looks?
She is a social media influencer. No.
Take that as you will.
Stay in cabin is safer. And I go.
She's coming with you. She's like, I'm not staying alone unprotected. To be fair, she does have warlock levels technically. Her patron is her chat.
All right then.
She's a social media warlock that I've
The
made.
parasocial patron.
Oh my god, that's
Rash
so
shrugs.
awful.
Rash shrugs and is just like, far be it from me to keep you from battle.
All right. You all start running towards the cargo bay then. And now it's time for everyone's favorite game, Collateral Damage. Some more dripping acid. Everyone, make me a dex save. Ooh, for max damage.
Everyone now?
Yep, everyone.
Ooh, dex save me with my big body and 4 legs.
Dex save.
Rose, you shouldn't have disadvantage.
Why? I was poisoned still.
Poison doesn't give you disadvantage.
Oh, that's right.
We
Oh.
discovered
Only
that
if you
I
try
was
to do
incorrect.
things.
Yeah, it's
I
only on
failed
skills.
anyway. Yeah, I
So
messed that up too,
16
but I
for
failed
Evie,
anyway.
You take no damage. 23 for Luna takes no damage. Darius takes 7 acid damage. Vim takes 7 acid damage.
Yeah.
And Rosh, you take no damage. Nice. Darius, you see Vim and Rosh and Maya. Not Maya. Millis. You see Vim, Rosh, and Millis making their way down to the cargo bay towards Myark.
Down to the cargo bay. Not.
All right.
Well, no, sorry, I was asking. I had this weird image in my head that the dragons were like up on like the top deck of like. I was confused. So here's a quick question. So, if I were to follow them down that way, I'm probably gonna have to drop through the hole because we don't have time to lower me down.
These ones are stairs. It's a stairwell down from here.
If I were to dash by using my action to move as well, that would give me 80 feet of movement because I move 40 feet because I got 4 legs.
You would easily be able to get down there.
Here's a question though.
Okay.
I've seen some of my compatriots going by. Would I be clued into the fact that some of them, and because I was offered alcohol earlier, would I be clued into the fact that any of them are under the effects of alcohol or like poisoned or what have you?
I mean, the people that you've seen, Vim has held himself together pretty well. Luna's pretty much always like that. I mean, am I wrong?
Could I do, as a free action, could I do a perception check just to perceive if anyone is
This would be
like
an insight check.
Okay. Actually, I'm actually very good at insight because I have a high wisdom stat, and I'm trained to this. So, and I rolled a nat 1.
No, Luna is just a little bit more Luna than normal tonight for some reason.
Oh, just a little bit more, Luna?
It must be a full moon.
So I can't tell that anyone has been poisoned.
No.
All right. To heck with it, then I'll worry about this later. I will use my movement and my action to dash 80 feet to get down there.
All right, you make your way down to the cargo bay. You see Myark kind of tinkering and like getting some cargo tied down and getting like stuff secured. Darius, Vim, Millis? What are you all doing here? Sorry, this knot took me a lot longer than normal to do. I apologize.
I look around. I was told there was a dragon?
Dragons and poisons abound.
What?
Wait,
Captain...
the ship is under attack?
Yes. Captain
Okay.
said to come here.
All
to
right.
you.
Here. And they start walking towards what appears to be a box closer to the side of the ship, and they open it up, and inside there is what appears to be a sort of enclosed capsule with a door, and it's kind of open the door. Okay, I need you all to get in here right now then. Go, go, go.
We'll do that on our turns, maybe.
Luna, you see Myark just pointing into a capsule that has a whole bunch of chairs in it and saying, "Go, go, go."
And she'll go, having completely forgotten that she was about to, like, chew out Orly. And in true Luna fashion, like, 2 turns after she cured Evie, she's gonna be like, oh, I'm so pretty, and lay on hands herself, and she accidentally cures her own poison drunkenness. And she, by that point, she's already in the chair.
You just, as you do that, you just see Myark say, "Yes, yes, you are. Go, go, go." Do you get buckled up?
Yeah, she's in there.
Perfect. Aaronheart comes running in at that point. Vim.
Yeah, Vim just scoots on in. Little, gets in, just rolls his way in.
Okay. Evie.
What is this area of the ship? I'm not familiar with it.
This is a protection device. It'll keep people safe who aren't combatants, but it needs to be calibrated from the inside, Evie. I can't trust anyone else to do it. Can you get in there for a minute to help me?
How does it protect people?
It produces a arcane shield that is relatively invulnerable, or at least can withstand a fair amount of damage until help can arrive.
Have we called for help yet?
That will be my next step, but I need to get everyone in there to safety. Can you please get in there and help me set this up?
Can I make an insight check?
Yes, you can.
I'm not good at insight, but...
No, that's fair.
15?
Good roll, though.
There's something about that. He's not telling you everything. 15 was the DC.
I don't think you are giving me all of the information relevant to this.
I know.
If you are not inside the protection...
I'm going to go
pod,
help fight.
I suppose?
I'm going to go help fight and send for help.
Then how will you be protected?
I will not be protected, but you all will be. Go. Evie, please just listen to me.
We'll stay on the ship? And help afterwards?
Yes.
Is he fucking with me?
Make me another insight check.
God damn it, there's no way I'm gonna roll 15 twice in a row.
He seems like he's telling the truth.
Okay.
Oof.
Be careful then.
Yes. The console's right beside the door. Just make sure you're buckled in. Okay.
Okay.
I wonder if you were thinking the same thing I was thinking.
Rash.
Would that work?
She puts the buckle on, but it like slowly slides.
No, like, as you put the buckle on, it actually starts to vibrate a little bit to keep itself separated from you.
Maya, you're fit.
I don't know if I like that.
Oh man, this escape pod comes with everything.
Rash, you're up.
I'm choosing to think more
Stop.
massage chair.
Stop.
Never.
Okay, Rash, you're up.
You broke out the fan.
It's just,
I'm sorry, where was I?
you're at the top of the stairs.
Right. So I'm running down the stairs. My brain goes, spice rack! I turn and I'm like, no, I'll get a new one. And I follow down and I go to my arc. And I'm like, orders, Captain.
Get in there and protect them. Protect everyone.
Roger that.
Buckle up.
Buckle.
Wait, why do we need buckles?
Rash is going to fully ignore the order to buckle up. She's never buckled up for anything in her life, and she's not going to start now.
The second Rash is in the door, you just see Myark pull a lever, and the door closes and seals.
Knew it.
You can still see him. It says, all of you, you will be safe. Find a ship, and try to find us if we don't find you.
But we're on a ship. What do you
And
mean find a ship?
Myark
What?
pulls another lever, and you see the ship, other side of the ship open up, and you see astral space, and then the pod that you're
go.
in starts to roll slightly, and it begins to fall out of the ship.
Rash just yells, "My spice rack!"
And as the pod begins to fall out of the ship, you see the combat happening above. You see this dragon attacking the crew. You see a tail swipe sending the captain right into the mast of the ship and him falling down unconscious.
They're dead.
And you basically see Myark, as you're going, the second you begin to get far enough away from the ship, one of those mechanized creatures begins to fly towards you, and you just see Myark run towards a small cannon that's also in the cargo area. He pulls it over to that hole and he just free fires it without securing it, knocking the mech away from y'all, and then you pop out of the planar dive and you lose sight of the ship. And as you do lose sight of the ship, you gain a new sight. The sight of the Astral Sea proper. And specifically, as you're floating in the Astral Sea and begin to sink down towards a crystalline sort of membrane and fall through it, you begin to now see just darker space with a very large sort of planetoid in its center that begins, because of its gravity, pulling the pod towards it. It looks like you all have a few minutes of respite before landing, but there is a number of sensors and now computers and that magical devices that turn on in this sort of pod that you're in.
Is this a weird time to mention that Darius didn't have a turn to get into the pod?
I thought you all made it into the pod.
No,
Sorry.
I got to the
gonna
room.
say anything.
Once you were in the room, you were in the pod. It's fine.
Okay.
Nope, we left you.
Yeah.
No, we left him.
No,
Nope,
we didn't
I'm
leave
having my
Darius.
own campaign now.
I thought everyone
prayer.
had made it into the pod.
Nope.
Fuck.
You're on
Either
a
way.
roll tonight, Will.
I am. Everyone made it into the pod. Once you were in the room, you were in the pod. If you were.
Did
okay with
Millis
being
make
there.
it into the pod?
Millis is in the pod. Millis is sitting there. Everyone
The
made it
one-
into the pod.
The one person we saved with us is the influencer.
No,
Yeah.
and Aaronhart.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay.
I don't say anything, but I turn and I hand the freshly created fidget cube to Luna.
Ooh.
Stress test that.
Are you stressed?
Yeah, I walked into that one.
How is what's Evie doing right now?
Evie, anyone watching her can slowly see her color leach out of her as her chromatophores kind of close in as she slowly becomes more translucent and her facial features become less distinct, because she cannot focus on anything other than the fact that she is panicking.
Can we visibly tell it's panic? Anyone trying to look?
I don't think anyone has seen Evie not looking like herself, so this is definitely unusual.
Rash goes up to Evie because she's not buckled. I will remind the group.
yeah, Evie's looking like deadpan, but it's just the vibrating seat. just dead silence, and it's just a. It's so
Rash
much.
thinks again and decides not to.
No. Rash is fine with it. Maya hates it.
I'm sorry, it was the only way I could think of a seatbelt working for someone made out of ooze.
So Rash goes up to Evie and just squishes her shoulders and kind of shakes her, and she's like, "Are you okay? Your face, it's disappearing."
Myark lied to me, and I didn't think he would do that, and I didn't know that someone would lie to you for no reason. If I'm not on the Sunseeker, then Dr. Talatio won't know where I am. And if he doesn't know where I am, he's not going to be able to find me. And if he can't find me, I will never see him again. And
Rash interrupts the tirade because she's a grandmother and can sense the spiral. And she just calmly soothes the blob's shoulders.
Massage the blob.
I don't often do this, but I come and sit very close to you, and I exercise some funny muscles sort of in my chest, and a sort of rumbly sound starts to come from
more
inside.
vibrating.
It's more vibrating.
Damn it.
I
So
need the better stress cube.
and Rash just goes, "Oh dearie, he old captain trying to protect us. Especially with you young ones on the ship. You are young, need to be protected."
I had someone who was supposed to protect me, and now he's not going to know where I am. Or worse, he will get on that ship and he will look for that ship, and that ship will be taken over by a dragon, and he could get
You are a
hurt.
smart girl, yes? You have large brain and good technology. We can send message when we get where we're going.
I don't have the ability to send telepathic messages, and I don't know where he is right now, so I would not be able to send him a physical message. Does anyone here know how to send messages another way?
Millis speaks up. I mean, there's always the net. We could do it through like a website. I could do it through my blog.
There you go. Blog. Yes, net.
And then
Word.
Earnhardt also
Evie's-
pipes up and says,
Oh,
if we
I
can-
have a net. She's just gonna
Yes,
work
yes,
on
we can
getting
all
a
knit
net
nets, dear.
out
if
of her bag.
Earnhardt speaks up, if we can make it back to the Ambrosia Rose system, I know for a fact that I can get us help there.
Yes, that sounds like good idea. We shall cast net at Rose system.
We just need to make it to the Royal Academy, and then I can have my dorm supervisor help us.
There you go, dearie. Plan, see? Plan. And she's soothing Blob.
Him kind of flops up because he's kind of fully enjoying his kind of trip right now, but sort of falls out. Besides, think about it like this is an opportunity to surprise your doctor. Instead of him coming to see you, you can spring on him.
The doctor does not typically like surprises.
Maybe this one will be different.
I skip going to the doctor. They give shots and those hurt.
Those are likely vaccinations, and I think those are typically very important, especially for mammalian species and humanoids such as yourself. Unless you were
That's
not.
okay. I have the net. And she holds up an actual physical net encouragingly at you.
The
Rash
holes
nods.
in that net are actually not small enough to stop things like the cells of bacteria or viruses that would actually infect you and could possibly hurt you. I think you should go to, maybe not my doctor, because my doctor is not like a physician, but you should seek medical help.
Is anyone still suffering the effects of poison, by the way?
Vin's just like rocking back and forth on his back in one of the seats.
Part of the reason that Rash keeps petting Evie is because of the texture. Just drunk petting of the blob hair.
I'm just
Earnhardt
gonna-
also raises their hand, as does Millis.
All right, which one of them looks like... I'm trying to think which one, conceivably, if you had to pick, could possibly handle... Actually, you know what? No. I'm just going to reach out 2 hands, 1 hand to each of them, and I'm just going to use both my 2nd level spell slots to do lesser restoration of both of them.
On who?
On Earnhardt and Millicent. Get rid of the poison from them.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't think I'm going to be using silence today, so...
That's fair.
Don't need that.
You unpoison the NPCs. And her just
I'll
casts
get-
this. Thank you.
All will be well.
I'll get Rash and just be like,
Oh,
you can do it. Lay on hands. You're unpoisoned.
Oh no, Vim's having a
I'm
time.
vibing.
Vim said he was enjoying it.
Vim's just rocking back and forth.
As Vim is vibing, kind of rocking back and forth, something does harsh Vim's vibe.
Oh no.
A light begins to flash in the pod that
Don't
you're in.
touch it,
flashing red and begins flashing red and turning on and off, and on all the magical and arcane things it says approaching planetoid, landing gear disabled, please take manual control. Approaching planetoid, landing gear disabled, please take manual control. And then a number of arcane consoles begin to light up. And everyone, welcome to our first skills challenge.
super glad we're not drunk anymore.
I don't think I can lie this thing into landing properly.
No, you cannot. So this is.
I'm
going to
be slapping people with as many guidances as I can.
Your goal is simple. If everyone can do me a favor and roll initiative, your goal for the skills challenge is simple. It is to not crash land, but to fall with style, and to safely land.
I have terrible initiative.
I don't even have like great initiative.
How do I?
Oh.
So if you
I keep.
click on your token on the map,
I did. I clicked on the token and then I hit it and it said I didn't select anything.
did like a little blue border show up around the token?
Not at all. Oh, there it is. Maybe.
Yeah, when you click on it and the little
Are
icons
you
come up
on
around it.
Are you on the measuring tool at all? It might.
I'm on the select tool.
All right,
Yeah, when you click on your token, it should come up with a couple bubbles above it and to the left a little and below.
Is it possible? I don't think that would make a difference.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do it for you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
like I.
And I'll change the
Don't-
initiative to 6.
There you go.
There we go. Cool.
Okay.
Alright, so welcome to our first skills challenge. For these skills challenges, we use the Lord Kensington Rules of Skills Challenge, developed by Rodrigo, by GM Rodrigo, for Critical Hit. They were another podcast that I watched growing up, and their rules pretty well adapt to 5e. So, here are the rules for a skills challenge, a refresher for chat, and to teach Maya as well, as you're new to the cast. We're going with the classic rule structure, meaning that your goal is pretty simple. You're going to be using your skills on your turn. You'll get a chance to do a skill check to accomplish the goal or move towards that goal. For skills challenges, you have a number of successes and a number of failures. If you hit that number of successes before you hit the number of failures, something good happens. And the skills challenge is a success. If you hit the number of failures before the number of successes, something bad happens, and the skills challenge is a failure. For this particular skills challenge, you are going to need as a party 12 successes.
Ooh.
And you have 8 failures.
Oh boy.
Okay.
The goal of this skills challenge is to land this pod safely. You have a number of arcane consoles ahead of you that can give you access to a variety of functions of this pod. Additional rules for the skills challenge. We rolled initiative. Why did we roll initiative? Well, we rolled initiative for the simple fact of this. When in a skills challenge, you cannot use the same skill 2 rounds in a row. Nor can you use a skill that the person right before you just used. So, for example, if on this turn, Vim decided to use athletics to sort of manhandle the arcane steering wheel and basically start keeping things a little bit more stable, Luna would not be able to use athletics this turn. But then when it came across again, Vim's turn would come again. Vim would not be able to use athletics, but then on Luna's next turn, Luna could. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can't zip a zap.
Yeah.
You can't zap a zop.
But you can boing.
But you can zip zap stop.
But can you blip lorp?
So
That's not an improv game we played at college.
I'll take your word for it.
What I can't do is a good athletics check.
on that note, Vim, it is actually your turn. You are going to be our first person.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna be chalking up some failures in this because I'm still at disadvantage. So I'm looking at what my best chances are.
Your goal is to land this thing, and if you can pitch me a good use of it, of any skill, I'm okay with it. So
Yeah.
So you might have to get a little bit creative.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I can also give you suggestions if you need anything.
Prompts.
I mean, would it be possible to use something, or instead of being direct, more to like bolster other people?
I would allow you to basically encourage your allies with your social skills or demand things from them with intimidation. You could also use things like survival in consort with the ship's scanners to try to find like a safe place to land. All that stuff.
Same
thing with perception, really. So you have options.
I am basically going to yell out to, please, everyone, whatever you have to do, stop those lights flashing. It's really harshing everything right now. We were having such a nice time. Just stop it. Stop it.
Well, harshing my vibe, man.
Moth Boy's too overstimulated by the lights.
12.
That is unfortunately.
You know what? I got an extra. I'm going to try it again.
Go for it.
Oh.
That is a success. So everyone, going forward for this round, there is one advantage that you can now use. However, the person who uses that advantage cannot benefit from it for the rest of the skills challenge. E.g., if Vim does another social boost, they can't then use that social
That
boost.
person can't use advantage on the next one.
Good.
So there's one advantage to be used
There's
for the
one
round.
advantage to be
A
used
floating
for the
advantage,
round.
one might say.
Yeah.
Aaronhart and Millis are also kind of working in concert with all of you, but they will be helping rather than contributing. Luna, you're up.
I want to persuade, let's say Rash to push this button because it's pretty.
Okay.
I want to persuade her to push this button in particular, and I pick her because I think she's the most likely to go along with it.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I'm absolutely willing to go along with it.
Success.
26.
You make a very convincing case to push the flashing red button.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll push the flashing red button
Rosh, you're up.
on my turn. I push the flashing red button and
Self-destruct thing
as you
engaged.
push the flashing red button, this like arcane shield pops up around the pod, and your descent begins to rapidly become very shaky. It looks like you've activated like some landing a little bit early.
okay.
How would you like to stabilize this situation? What would you like to do?
I'm going to make, and let's see. Fuck, why do I have that? You know what? I'm just going to do a strength. I'm going to do strength on the wheel as well.
Yeah, you can do athletics if you want to start getting control of things. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to do an athletics is what I'm going to do.
All right, roll it.
Boop.
That's a success.
I go,
As like
I
that-
like Hulk out a little bit. The granny sleeves a little bit like rip off.
Yeah!
as like the landing stuff begins to like really shake and the pod begins to shake a whole bunch, you manage to stabilize it and keep it going. Evie.
I am going to use my Tinkerer's tool to temporarily repair a disabled device. Suggested DC for that using Tinkerer's tools is 10, but I don't know what your DC is.
It will be a DC for the skills challenge.
So that's Tinker's tools. Ooh, I'm gonna use a hero point because that's a 2.
Ew.
There we
Much
go.
better.
That's a 16.
That's a success. You managed to, with your Tinkerer's tools, get some energy flowing to a number of the sensors on the outside of this pod. It doesn't look like the pod got to go through its whole activation sequence. It looks like Myark kind of pushed things quickly to get you all out of there sooner than later. But now that's been active a little bit more, some more information pops up on the screens. Here's that information. Number 1, the planet that you guys are heading towards is a unexplored and unmapped planet.
Oh my.
It appears to be teeming with life signatures, as well as like large collections of like metal and electricity. In addition to that, the system that you're in right now does have a sun in it, but now it's being pointed out to you, Evie. The sun is coming like towards collapse. Like the sun's in the stage right before it would collapse in on itself and become a black hole. And it looks like the process that it would cause it to collapse is coming to an end in the near future.
Oh, geez.
How near?
Within the week.
Oh, that's way beyond like. Okay, I was thinking near as in cosmic scale, but we're not talking cosmic scale here.
But yeah, that's what you get for that success. So not only are you in an unmapped, inhabited by something system, but a star's collapsing in on itself. Darius, it's your turn.
I mean, to be fair, stars and planets and stuff move on a really huge scale. It could look like it's collapsing. It could be collapsing within the next 1,000 years.
The sun
Anyway.
skip it a week.
Okay. Anyway, well, I am going to use survival, I think, to try and find the best place for us to maybe land, preferably on the side of the planet farthest away from the sun, though that may change, obviously, because the planet rotates.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use the survival. I don't suppose I can slap myself with a guidance.
No.
Okay. Didn't think so. Here we go. 13.
That is just barely a success.
You know what? Good enough.
Yay!
Yeah, you start to
I
find...
usually am repairing these things, not operating them.
There's a number of different areas that seem to be pretty good. There's like a number of large open spaces. The thing that you find odd is like when operating this pod scanners, you can see that there were like huge structures on this planet. Like massive, basically, buildings. But it's also like heavily filled with like flora and fauna. Like the buildings are almost like leftover. But you do find a few clearings or spots that you could. They're probably like freeways or parks, but you know, you're getting there.
Yeah, trying not to drive us into a building on the way down.
That's fair. Speaking of that, Vim, it is now your turn. What would you like to do?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You're doing great. I'm so proud of you.
If you need suggestions, I can give you some as well.
I mean, it's mostly how dumb do I want to be with what I'm doing? Because I don't have...
Luna's vote is very...
I don't have smart options. I guess I'm going to do persuasion this time. This time I'm just like... like... up into the side of Evie. And it's just like, I'm begging you. Just turn off the lights. Just turn off the lights.
Okay, roll it.
We are about to crash land into a planet that is about to be eaten by a collapsing star, and you are concerned about the lights.
One solves the other, I think.
So upon that, Vim, you've refreshed that floating advantage. Someone can use it next round, and at this point, the pod is now entering the atmosphere of this planet, and it is now shaking vigorously. You can see massive structures made out of metal and glass and stone. It looks as though this entire planet had been made into a city at one point that has now been completely overgrown and abandoned. Luna, your turn.
Okay, so I'll let you pick whether you want this to be acrobatics or athletics. But she's basically playing Twister to try to like hit 2 buttons at once on like opposite sides of the pod. So she's like reaching with her finger, and then she's got like her leg over here, like she's trying to like push another button with her toe.
Acrobatics to me.
fantastic. They're the same for me, so I didn't care either way.
Ooh, that is a failure.
Oh, that's gonna be. Well, you know what? I have a floating advantage.
Yep. Do you want to re-roll again?
Y'all care?
Okay, roll.
Go for it.
Roll
for it.
once more. That is still a
Oh.
failure.
All right.
You get one of them, but the other one you're just short. You flick a switch, and then that shield turns off, and now the pod is like spinning over itself.
Whee!
Rash, you're up.
I'm going
Do a barrel
to.
roll. Do a barrel roll.
She just used acrobatics.
I did.
So, oh God, I don't have a great insight, but I'm going to use insight to figure out which switch she flipped to flip it back on.
Go for it.
So yeah, gonna attempt that.
17.
Nice.
That's a success. You're able to figure it out. You flick the switch, and it stops the turning, and now it's just kind of back onto its straight path. Evie.
I'm gonna use investigation to see what buttons I can push.
Go for it.
To help stop this. I have one more hero point. I'm gonna use it. There we go. 19.
That's a success. You're now at 8 successes. You managed to find what appears to be maybe something that would shoot out wings on this pod to allow you to glide and have a little bit more control. And you can activate those now that you're in the atmosphere, because those will actually work. Darius.
That is me. I am going to.
Darius, you're no longer a child.
Do not doubt you mean it well.
Nerds.
Anyway, I am going to try and no, hold on. Remind me. I can't use the same skill twice, but I can still use this skill that other people have used.
You can't use the skill directly before you or the same skill 2 rounds in a row.
Okay, so I can't use insight.
You can't use investigation.
Oh, well then I will use insight to try and find the most pressing button to press.
Okay, go for it. Get a read of the situation.
12.
That is a failure.
I'm going to use a hero point.
Go for it.
That is even worse.
Oh no.
You go to push a button. You push the button, and the wings pop off.
In my defense, I was homeschooled.
It's fine. We don't need help.
Vim, you're up.
I was religiously homeschooled.
McKenna's face.
So Vim is either going to annoy people enough to get what needs to be done, or play us out, and he's going to pull his pouch out and he's going to play some Going Down with the Ship music with his hurdy-gurdy.
With his hurdy-gurdy?
You play some Going Down with the Ship music, and it's somewhat inspiring. One floating advantage. Luna.
I'm gonna use history to remember what Darius did and not do that.
Alright, make me a
What are
history
you
check.
doing?
So we are all going to die in the first few episodes.
It's a nat 20.
I hate you so much.
You remember like the color that the button was flashing? It was flashing like a blue. So you go to push one that's flashing green, and another set of wings pops out.
Insane.
You're now at 11. One more success, and you will have made it. But 6 more failures, and you will have failed. Can we get that? Rosh, you're up.
I'm going to do a. I can do an acrobatics now. Yes.
Yes, okay.
I'm gonna do an acrobatics to navigate the steering wheel some more to try and like more dexterously land.
Avoid buildings.
Yes.
Go for it.
Avoid crashing and burning, potentially. Acrobatics.
18.
Ooh.
With that is a success. Rash, with your expert piloting skills, you're able to weave around the buildings. These massive skyscrapers, hundreds of stories tall. And you are all able to now safely crash, taking minimal damage to everyone, in what appears to be a large, overgrown sort of park area.
I mean, we could have landed in spikes.
We did it collectively as a team. Good job, everyone.
Flying are the same thing.
I would argue that flying and falling are different things. Flying.
It's falling with style is what it is.
It is falling with a sense of control and
Style.
This episode falling with style now.
Can I immediately do a survival check to make sure there's nothing immediately life-threatening in our immediate vicinity?
Yes, make me a survival check. I do think we may have lost Maya.
Oh no.
Oh, she
Maya's
does look very frozen.
Fully frozen.
Shut
I only
back.
rolled a 10.
at least she got frozen in like a cute smiley face.
Yeah.
Every time I freeze
Shit.
him, I was
Am
like,
I not there anymore?
Oh,
You
Oh,
we can
were-
hear you.
We hear
were for
you.
a while.
Am I
We can
here?
hear you now.
You're frozen though.
Maya, who's your internet provider?
2013.
Who do we need to curse whenever this happens? But in all seriousness, Darius, the 10, there doesn't appear to be anything immediately dangerous happening around you.
I mean, yay.
You know.
is there any sort of gauge or anything?
Sorry, y'all. My internet is not good today.
Oh, it is. It's
It
having
is
issues.
what it is.
Comcast.
I don't think.
I just always curse
We're just
Comcast.
gonna curse them anyway.
It's pretty spectrum over here.
Oh, Spectrum.
Yeah, it's
See.
very Spectrum.
It's funny how wild it is though, because I have Spectrum and like barely ever have any issues.
Yes,
It's
but you don't have people
Kind of
around
garbage
you.
out here.
It's just random, basically.
It's also weird because for you guys, I think my video cut out sooner, but I was still hearing you guys when you were saying Maya's gone, and I'm like, I'm right here.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then I cut.
If you have like good service and ideally unlimited service, and you can use like a hotspot on your phone, I've had some success with that.
I might just do the Zoom link from my phone next session
That's fair.
and see how that works.
Something like
Worth
that.
a shot.
But either way, there's nothing immediately dangerous here, Matt. Darius kind of like peeks their head out of the pod that now the door does open up and air comes rushing in. The air is crisp and clean. It's like air that's in the... It's weird because you're in this very urban landscape, but it's been completely overgrown. And it's like it's like there's been like no pollutants added to the air. Like the air is crisp, clean, and clear. It's wonderful air.
This can only be good. Well, trying to think. How would we best go about now finding some sort of civilization? I don't suppose there's any sort of like kit in the escape pod or what have you with like supplies or anything.
There is like a small supply kit. It has a week's worth of rations for 10 people in it. It has some basic tents in it, as well as like a bedroll, like a number of basic bedrolls. Like there's 10 basic
All right.
bedrolls. Basically, it
I
has
will-
enough supplies for 10 people to camp.
I will get someone to lash that to my my barding or my saddlebag, so to speak.
And then there is also some sort of transponder as well.
Oh. Do I know how to work the transponder? Or is it idiot proof?
Do I
it's-
clock? that
Is
there's a
it Luna
Yes.
proof?
You do. You can, Evie. You can notice the transponder. Millis is kind of like holding up their like this slate of stone that like once had like all of their like information on it, and they're just like trying. There's no connection here.
Evie makes grabby pseudopods for the transponder. You see a little pink. The pink is slowly like fading back into her. You see a little pink pseudopod come and like. Darius.
Yes. I mean, okay.
I immediately start fucking with the transponder and see who I can contact.
You activate the transponder, and it just sort of starts letting out like a soft beeping, like a beep.
Oh god, it's gonna explode.
Beep. Beep. Beep.
Is it so? When you say transponder, do you mean?
It's like a radio, but right now it's sending a signal as if it's trying to connect to something.
Very sad.
Plop onto the grass and just fiddle with it until I hear something other than a beep.
Very scientific.
As you continue to fiddle with it, it's strange because in the entirety of the galaxy, there are satellites that are set up. In the entirety of like known space, of known astral space, there are satellites set up that should connect you to just the general sort of network that's shared between astral space. But it can't connect here.
I am sad because I think we are going to die here.
But it is sending out some sort of signal, so...
Our only hope is that someone happens to be on the same frequency as our transponder and happens to fly within the transponder radius. Otherwise, no one will know that we are here, and that star will turn into a black hole, or we will run out of rations, and we will very quickly succumb to a horrible, terrible death. Yes, Luna.
We could use the leaves to spell out help.
I
mean,
the amount of time that would have to go into spelling out help in a large enough font that it could be seen from theoretically hundreds of thousands of miles away in space, it would take more time than we have left on this Earth.
The sun is beginning to set, by the way.
well, I'm immediately going to start setting up a camp in the nearest... Is there anything around that could provide some sort of shelter from, conceivably, if it were to rain?
I mean, the pod.
Okay, you know what? I'm just going to start laying bedrolls down. We're going to have a cute little sleepover in the pod.
Would it not be worth trying to find
Rash
a building or structure?
goes up to Luna. Rash goes up to Luna.
I just worry that we haven't explored this planet at all. We don't know anything about what's going on, and we would be spending the night there before even being able to walk around and investigate things. I feel like we should stay closer to the pod just for the first night at least, and then venture out in the day, because then we'll at least get a sense for the area and what kind of things are around before we are surrounded in darkness.
Can I make a perception check for any sort of like civilization / life or like tracks as like leading to such a thing like in our immediate area?
Make me a perception check.
Okay.
You don't notice any tracks of like... Yeah, you don't notice any like tracks heading towards like a specific spot. There are a number of tracks that are heading like down like a small path in this park area, and you just kind of like take a cursory look at them, and it sees that it leads to like some sort of like flowing spring, so fresh water source.
Okay.
So those are probably animal tracks that like use this as like a watering hole.
In the pack that was on the ship, is there like a canteen or something that I can just fill with water?
Yep.
Rash is gonna take that from the pack and be like, "Be right back."
Yeah.
She's gonna follow the trail.
Nice. Rash, as you head down that trail, you eventually come to the spring. The water is flowing quite nicely through it, and there's actually what appears to be a avian creature, just kind of like floating on the water. It has these sort of like gray and black feathers. It has like a large bill and kind of spikes on it. And like as it's like just kind of like floating, it turns slightly. You can see that this like billed creature has like 8 eyes.
How big is it compared to me?
It is the size of a duck.
Does it weigh the same as a duck? Because if so, it's made of wood, and therefore it's a witch.
I mean, Rash has encountered plenty of odd-looking creatures in her life.
Mm-hmm.
She calls out to the duck and is just like, duck, and asks, "All right with you if I take bit of water?"
Upon seeing you, the feathers.
And I raise the canteen.
The feathers appear to just simply be like camouflaging. These like legs, like 8 legs, stick out, and like it turns into like a water skimmer. And it begins basically running away from you. It's a spider duck.
Oh,
Why? Why, Will? Why?
Leave it to Will to ruin ducks for everyone.
Will bring the early 2000 impossible creatures vibes to D&D today.
Can I?
We're in space. Space is
Can
weird,
I
man.
infer from the running away and the non-response that it's not like sentient in the way that we are?
Yes.
Like it's more of an animal?
It is an animal.
In that case, dinner.
All
Can Rash throw how far is it away? Because you said it turned to start running away.
And it's like 20 feet away from you right now.
Cool. Then I'm gonna, if it's 20 feet away, then I'm going to slash at it with one of my butcher knives.
Okay.
Which is a hand axe.
Okay.
But I'm gonna
Roll the hit.
This is her
Oh, wait,
first
sorry.
attack from
Hit
the
the
game.
wrong-
Yeah, it's the first.
sorry, I
attack
hit the wrong
roll.
button. D20, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you on your character sheet.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should just be able to
No,
click
she-
your.
Yeah, I think I set them up though. Yeah, if you just click on the butcher knives, like the name butcher knives, it'll roll everything
That's what I-
for you.
That's what I thought. I just clicked the wrong thing.
Yeah, you just have to click the actual name.
There we go. I
There you
clicked
go.
the right thing now.
A 14 will hit, and now if you just click on the name in chat, it will roll the damage.
Okay. There we go. I did it in the wrong order. That's what happened.
Yeah, you send this butcher knife flying, and it just goes like right into the back of this thing, and it goes like limp on the water. Still floating on the water though.
Sweet.
Are the rest of us watching this, or did you leave the pod to do this?
Oh, I
and, like-
left.
Okay, because this might disturb Darius to see this.
Yeah.
Just murdering this random
Maya,
animal.
upon-
First living thing I
Rash,
find, I
upon
kill.
closer inspection, like the legs, they're less spidery and more crabby.
That's
Except
not
there's
necessarily
8
any
of them.
better.
So like there's
It
like
is.
these 8 like there's
That's
like these
tasty.
8 crab legs. It's a crabby duck kind of almost.
Oh, Rash is so excited. We're feasting tonight. And how can I inspect the water, see how deep it looks?
The water is about 3 feet deep. It's just a flowing stream.
Oh.
And like as you're looking up, you see basically it coming out from like the ground, like up towards further down into the park. You see it coming up from the ground and basically flowing down.
And how clear is the water? Can I is it pretty
It is crystal clear. It's like
clear?
It is. Crystal
So I
clear.
can see if any creatures are underneath the water or anything.
Yeah, you can see it is a crystal clear creek. Ooh, say
Okay,
that
cool.
fast.
So there's nothing like any little ambient fish or anything bigger and attackier.
Other than the duck, there's like some small minnow-like creatures, but they're not really like big enough to eat.
Cool. I'm just gonna wade out into the water. By the way, a reminder for all: I am 3'9", so it is just my head above.
Yep.
I
I'm-
give it. I wade up to it and I yank out my knife and stab it a couple more times just in case.
Yeah, it is dead. You can add 1 spider duck to your
Super dead.
inventory.
But you said it was crab, not spider.
Well, because it has 8 legs.
Crab duck.
But
Crab duck.
The legs are crab. The legs are like crab legs. I'm just trying to give an equivalent.
Delicious. Where is my equipment / inventory?
I'm busy trying to get the bedrolls in the most comfortable configuration.
What is everyone else doing?
That.
Evie is playing with the transponder. Luna.
I'll break it.
And
I would never.
Vim. What are you two up to?
Packing up my instrument now that we've gotten
Putting away the hurdy-gurdy.
now that we've gotten safely to the ground, which I helped. I guess I'll poke out a little bit, but he's not gonna like run off or anything.
Chad is the secret bard.
Just kind of take a look around.
All right. Make me a perception or survival check.
All right. That's a 8.
Yeah, you don't notice anything in particular. There's like wind blowing through the trees. It's a very pleasant breeze.
Yeah.
Temperate climate. It doesn't look like, even though the sun's going down, it's getting much colder on the planet. Like, it's still comfortable. It appears to be like a summer. It'd be like 30 degrees Celsius right now, and then cooling off maybe to like a 25 Celsius. So like, high 60s. High 60s for the Americans.
Really?
And yeah. Luna, what are you getting up to?
That depends. Has anybody got an eye on Luna?
Earnhardt has been keeping an eye on you.
Okay.
And
What's
just-
Earnhardt doing?
Earnhardt's just kind of been looking about, and he's kind of standing near you. He's like, I figured, out of everyone here, if I needed some sort of protection, it would be you who'd be pretty helpful.
Yes. I am a knight.
Oh, I am a knight in training. Well, I'm currently doing
That's
the knight.
really cool.
I'm currently doing the knight course at the academy.
What academy?
The Royal Academy for the Astral elves. And then you see them stop for a second. It's like, I don't know why I told you that. I suppose at this point it's out. Yes, I am a... I suppose I should tell you. My full name is technically Archduke Candidate Earnhardt. I am a elven noble of sorts. I am currently at the Royal Academy of the Sigallant to learn statecraft and such, so that I can take over from my father for our home system.
That's so cool.
Thank you. Just kind of smiles. I need to get back to the academy as soon as I can. There's some unfinished business there that needs to get done, and I'm sure they would help you if we got there.
Well, could they send a ship? Because then we would have a ship
If
to
we
get
could-
off of this dying rock, and then we could also get where you need to go.
If we could contact them, yes, that would be... They would send a ship as quickly as they could. I've not been in contact with the school since I was... Not ejected isn't the right word, since I was sent away from it.
Say no more. I will write a letter,
All right.
and she will get to work writing a letter.
What's your passive perception, Evie?
My passive perception, not good. I think it is just 10.
Okay. Vim?
15.
All right, Vim, you overhear this conversation, then.
Mm-hmm. Does it mean anything to me?
No.
Yeah.
That's
I figured
information.
it probably. Yeah, he's still just kind of checking out the very close area. He's not running off on his own at this point.
All right. Rash comes back with the duck in hand. At that point, I think we lost Maya again.
Oh, we sure did. She can probably hear us.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Poor thing.
I do.
Yep.
She does hear us.
I
There she is.
can hear you.
I hate
Can you
Spence.
hear me?
No.
Kind of.
Kind of. You're super
How about
robotic.
now?
That's better.
That's better.
Okay. Yeah, no. Rash comes back with crab duck and canteen, full water canteen in hand.
Nice.
And goes about setting up a small fire.
Yeah, there's like a little gas stove that is in the pod. Like it has like the amenities that you would need. So you can get that
Perfect.
going.
She gets started on dinner,
Nice.
cooking a nice seafood duck crab stew.
Yeah.
For everybody.
I'm not even going to make you roll for it. It's a pretty easy dish. You get like a very passable stew going.
That's right.
The sun at this point is now like fully set, and these like overgrown trees that you see along like the sides of like a very large path near like the park entrance, little parts of them, like just central parts of them, and like towards the top of the towards like the middle part of the trees, these like little bulbous like bark things that are sticking out of them, parts of them begin to light up and produce like this very bright light. Think of them as like overgrown street lamps.
Poor Vim.
Vim's just sitting there like,
It's not like a flashing light, it's just like a LED, very bright one.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't even really know what to.
It is becoming nightfall. A rest. Aaronhart kind of peeps up. Perhaps we should rest here for the evening and begin looking in the morning. Maybe we set up some sort of watch.
Start passing bowls of soup to everybody.
I gather all of the bowls in the center and cast Purify Food and Drink on them.
I was going to ask. Also, oddly question, can we lock the door to the pod?
I mean, you can close it.
But someone could just open it from the other side.
Yeah.
All right. I'm volunteered to take first watch.
Rash raises her hand and says, I'll go second.
Okay.
I can set a trap if anyone on the outside tries to get into the pod.
I mean, that seems a little possibly dangerous if they're okay people, but I suppose, we have to be careful.
Up to you. It's
Like
just something
doorbell,
I know how
yes?
to do. Like I have this flask of draconic acid that I could
Oh
rig
my.
to spray at someone. But I could also just use like a piece of metal that would hit another piece of metal and make a loud noise.
I mean, that's
That sounds
perfect.
better.
Let's start with that. If we discover that things are really dangerous here, if we live to the second night, we can do a more dangerous trap.
Understood.
Need a third watch. I can maybe do a third watch. By then, I'll probably recover.
And then there's the set a trap feature of these tools.
Go for it. Roll it. Let's see how good of
Guidance.
a trap you make.
Guidance, thank you.
With my tail. A cheeky little guidance.
You set it up very effectively.
24.
25 with
Dude.
guidance.
That's a 25. That's a good ass trap.
As y'all begin to take your watch, our first watch happens.
Does that mean a perception check on my part?
Millis is actually going to stay up with you for this. And you just kind of see her, like, as you're keeping watch, she's, like, has, like, the, like, offline function, like, the recording function on. It's like, welcome to Millis's travel blog. I find myself on an uninhabited planet. Crash landed after an attack on the vessel I was sailing on. What new delicacies will be found here? Well, for one, we found a delicious creature. And she's, like, doing, like, a review of the food.
Yes!
I'm going to be staring out into the darkness, completely ignoring her.
Millis giving you advantage.
Oh, I'm distracted by her food blogging.
Yep. You don't. Well, Mills giving you advantage with her ring light. It's producing a good amount of light
Oh,
outside.
okay. Oh, the ring.
Not the ring.
Wow. I'm not used to her banter.
It is Friday the 13th, y'all.
That is. What are the
Wow.
odds of that? Like,
With Roll20, like 50-50.
hold on. Out of curiosity.
There we go.
Oh wow, that's not a whole lot better.
But yeah, you don't notice anything. It's a quiet watch. Second watch.
Who's the second watch?
It's me. It's
It's
me.
you.
It me.
It me.
Oh, alright. Oh, that's a good perception check. Maya, in the distance, Rash can see prowling, basically, not near the pod, but like up on the street area. You just see these like glowing eyes moving across the street, not towards the pod, but like perpendicular to it.
Can I give like a nature animal handling check to see if I recognize what creature it could be?
Yeah, make me a nature check.
It's not gonna be good, but
I'll give you this. It has a very feline body, but
Okay.
it has more eyes than a feline should.
okay.
I don't like this planet.
Does it seem? How close is it in proximity
It's not
to
like,
us? Like
it's
I know
not like it's not like
eyeing
8
us.
eyes. It just has 4 eyes.
I know that it's like eyeing us.
It's not eyeing.
But-
It's just walking across the street. Like it's
Oh, it's just walking.
yeah.
How
it's
far
walking
is
in the
it?
distance? It's about 90 feet away from y'all.
All right, I'm not gonna judge that a threat.
Yeah.
And we already ate dinner, so
The only reason why you can see is because like the lights on the like from the trees near the street area illuminate it, and you can see it visibly avoiding the spaces of light. It's staying in shadow.
yeah, no. I'm just gonna keep a bead on it with my eye, but not do anything.
It eventually goes away.
Cool.
All right.
Sure, we'll never have to worry about that ever.
Last watch.
Would the sleep that I've had this far,
Yes, you are no longer poisoned.
kind of no? Okay, so
Hangover, though?
normal persuade or perception check. 20.
Vim, you notice on your watch towards the end of it, sunrise is like maybe in an hour, so it's just like the very like moment right before sunrise. You hear like a buzzing sound, and then coming down towards the pod, you see a small sort of mechanical creature. It has 4 distinct like propellers keeping it up in the air. It's basically a drone.
Mm-hmm.
And then the eye, with an eye in the center, the eye as it looks to you opens up, and this like grid pattern begins to go through the pod, creating light.
Like that. I don't like it.
Scanning. Organics detected. Invasive species detected. And it just kind of hovers there for a moment, and then it produces like a hand, like a small robotic hand, and it flies towards what it would consider the door of this pod, and it just kind of knocks.
Polite,
Knock,
at
knock,
least.
knock. Hello, are there any survivors in this pod?
Depends.
The voice, just to be sure, sounds robotic, not like a voice being projected through it.
It is robotic. It is a hello, are there any survivors in this pod? I am detecting life signs. Can you confirm that you are conscious, please? And at this point, everyone else can hear this and begins waking up. You will all have gotten the benefits of a long rest. at this point.
Hello?
Yes, I am conscious.
Excellent.
Okay.
I am drone Zeta X92.
Hello, drone Zeta X92. I am Experiment 3, version 13, alternatively known as Evie.
It is nice to meet you, Evie. Whoa.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that
What?
was
That
rough.
was so rough. Maya,
And now she's frozen and
you
flattering me.
are
It's fair
fully
now.
frozen.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, there we are.
Unhinged.
If there's anyone else using your Wi-Fi right now.
Poor thing.
What did
Keep
Rash
talking
say?
to see if you hear me yet.
There you are.
There you
But
go.
we'll
There we
find
go.
out.
Yeah, we heard you.
I
there.
blame all this cosmic radiation. It's
Yeah.
interfering with our comms
So
because
what-
we're in
How about
space.
now?
I can
Anything
hear you.
yet?
Yeah.
We
Yep.
can hear you.
Yes.
Anything?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, she can't hear us.
Oh,
Now she can't
no.
hear us.
Well, it is
That's
11:12.
arguably- That's almost worse. Yeah, but we got
It
Oh,
is
well.
worse. It is worse because this is the stream now.
Yeah. Organics.
What does the drone say?
Organics. Survivors.
Hang on. I'm turning on my hotspot. I can't hear you guys now is the problem.
Rash really is the grandmother.
Actually is.
Spectrum.
It's all good. We're getting to the end anyway, so.
Okay.
Organics.
What's the drone say?
Organics. Please follow me to research station in order to minimalize your effect on our current environmental experiment. We will provide you with necessary aid to exit planet and experiment area.
Insight check?
Sure. Make an insight check on the robot.
15.
Yeah, seems to be telling the truth. It doesn't seem to have anything veiled between it.
Well, I start packing up the bedrolls.
We, with the research team,
Am I
are...
back?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
We, with the research team, are more than happy to provide aid in order to minimize impact on our experiment.
Would you be able to get us to specific galaxies?
We can provide a ship's fit for astral travel. We have one currently at our research station left over from before the experiment began. And it is not required for our experiment.
In exchange for what?
Minimal impact on our experiment.
What is the experiment?
Environmental recovery after environmental collapse due to societal over-exasperation of environmental resource.
What are you planning to do about the imminent black hole?
Imminent black hole will not be a problem for experiment. It falls within parameter.
That seems unlikely.
Do we get to go to a news ship?
I think so.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's already like gearing
In
up for the
fairness,
thing.
it's not like we're gonna stop a black hole.
We are not going to stop a black hole, and the alternative is waiting for something to come in range of the transponder, which so far has not happened. And I think the likelihood of something coming within range of the transponder is much lower than the likelihood of us dying. So we should follow this thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rash has no problem with.
Please follow me. And it basically hovers until you're all exiting, and it begins leading you basically through the streets. It leads you up into that like main street area, and then it says, please produce, and it will produce out like this like small tray from the bottom of it. Earplugs. Please insert earplugs into auditory receptacles for the... And it kind of like motions towards you, Evie. For you, we have, and there's like these like flatter ones. Ones that should work for your biological interface.
Are they noise canceling?
Yes. I will
Why?
be producing a sonic vibration in order to minimalize organic interaction between yourselves and the species that call this planet home.
Rash looks at Evie and goes, vibrations, like ones on ship that keep you in seatbelt?
Less violent, more sonic. Think of it as a high-pitched whistle.
No, thank you.
I mean, Rash takes the earplugs.
Okay. Aaronhart takes the earplugs, as does Millis. It will not cause any harm. The noise will not cause any harm, but it will be slightly annoying.
Oh,
I will say,
I'm gonna take my chances.
All right.
there's been all kinds of annoying sounds and lights lately.
Rash puts in the earplugs, but goes on like just high alert, just in general.
The drone begins to produce like a mosquito noise, basically. And for like the next hour of walking, you just hear that mosquito noise. However, eventually you come to a larger building. It's sort of a dome that has a cylindrical entrance to it. And as the drone approaches it, the entrance begins to shake open. And then another door opens. And like as you enter through the first door, it closes and some lights turn on. And you find yourself inside of this massive dome of just machines, of futuristic like tech and magical interfaces. And as you approach, the drone basically flies in and says, "Welcome to Research Station. This is the heart of our current experiment."
Cute.
Oh.
Can hear.
I understand not any of this.
Yes, please do not touch any consoles that say "do not touch" on them. And then there's like a number of consoles that say "do not touch," but there are a number of them that don't. The other consoles are free for you to access.
I'm immediately gonna try and swing Luna onto my back.
Evie evades your grasp and goes, just zooms right over to the the things that she's allowed to touch.
Our open consoles have our research on
Less
them
worried
that
about
we have
Evie.
currently done. If you would like to flip through it, you are free to do so. Upon your exit with the ship, we will be sending you with a copy of what we have collected so far.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
What hypothesis is it that you are testing?
Our planet's history is one wrought with turmoil. We had expanded very quickly and had fully shaped the planet to fit our needs as a society. We were highly productive. However, this production came at a cost. Due to our forms of energy, our climate of our planet began rapidly changing. Resources such as water and such became scarce to the point where astral travel was deemed necessary. Once most of our population was evacuated, some volunteers remained and allowed their consciousness to enter the mainframe, and then everything starts like lighting up slightly brighter. The current brain of our environmental research in order to see how much time a planet would require to fully heal after environmental destruction.
You said their consciousnesses were uploaded?
Yes, we are now one. We are the research team.
And what became of your physical forms?
Our physical forms have long since decayed. They had become partially nutrients for the planet's regrowth.
That is a good use of recycling. How long has this experiment been running?
This experiment has been running for approximately 10,000 cycles.
Oh, that is a very long time for humanoids to exist, but as a consciousness, collectively that might be fascinating. I appreciate your dedication to this experiment.
We are the
It must have
research
taken
team.
a lot of work.
This experiment is our purpose.
But do you know where the other people went?
They found their way throughout the Astral Sea, and with our technology, settled a city in the Astral Sea itself.
Which city?
The city that made up the Astral Sea. Does that city no longer make up the Astral Sea?
The Astral Sea is kind of a big collection of many cities.
Strange. It has been some time. Perhaps we had expanded to other places. We have not had contact with our forerunners since then.
So, do you work like conglomerates, or do you all still have individual brains as a research team?
We are the research team, able to process multiple variables simultaneously.
So, no memory recollection of humanoid existence.
We have our memories of humanoid existence stored and have full access to them. If not, we would not have education necessary to perform research.
How about emotions in there? How's that floating around?
We are the research team. Emotions were deemed unnecessary long ago. We simply care about our experiment.
And how does that make you feel? And she goes into grandma mode.
We are pleased with experiment's progress. Experiment is progressing well. Planetoid is almost fully healed to point before civilization fully embraced the planet.
You should feel proud of yourself for that. Good job.
Does it not feel a little hollow with the whole impending collapse and everything going away soon?
Well, I said that wasn't going to be a
The
problem.
star's collapse will not cause a problem for our experiment, nor for the continued existence of this planet. It will be temporary.
Can you elaborate on that?
The star is not entirely a star. It is an astral creature, known as an astral phoenix.
And it's consuming the planet.
The star is
Well-
coming to the end of its life, where it will for a short time collapse and then rebirth a new star as the astral phoenix begins to exit the system.
Aren't you concerned that the planet will get incredibly cold for that amount of time?
The planet will be incredibly cold for, due to our calculation, less than 1 second.
That seems unlikely.
Ambient
Yes.
heat will remain for some time due to our atmosphere. Many of the holes in what was once our ozone layer have been repaired.
Considering a planet cools just overnight, that seems also unlikely. I worry this machine is not working perfectly very well.
Can I start poking around?
They're
to
the
see if there's any
research
sort of-
team. They know better.
Can I poke around to see if there's any sort of like navigational system in here as to where we are exactly in the astral plane?
There is, like, all the files that you have access to, there is a sort of astral map.
Astral sea, I mean.
There is a sort of astral map, and based on what you're looking at, you would be somewhere between, like, there's no exact point putting it, but you're somewhere between Gilded Garden and the Ambrosia Rose system. You're not in any space that's controlled by either of them. You're, like, kind of in no man's land. Or no man's sky.
Does that mean then,
Name drop.
Since the last people who left here left 10,000 years ago, does that mean that the ship that we would be using for travel is 10,000 cycles?
The ship
Old?
that you are using for cycle has been well preserved. It does need some minor repair. However, that can be accomplished by mortal hands, such as yourselves. However, there is one fear we have about its current power source. It may be unable to activate the ship's systems. We may need to send you with a drone to collect a receptacle and replacement power source at another research facility that is no longer needed for this experiment.
Did anyone else notice a quest log just appear above our heads?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Liar.
And yeah, it's going to start, basically a number of lights will turn on and it'll lead you towards like a very large hangar area. And inside of this hangar is
Speeder bikes.
a ship. It has basically a oval-like body that has like a large point at its front, and it has like this beautiful like sort of metalwork all around it. And inside of it, there is what appears to be like a large cockpit area that has this like blue clouded glass that doesn't let you see into it. The ship itself is on 4 basically stands right now. Those appear to be its like landing gear that are out. It has a stairway lower down to gain entrance to it, and it has what you would think would be sails, but they're like folded almost dragonfly wings with 4 in total, kind of folded backwards. The ship is in full working condition. However, the power source may become a problem. After initial scans, repair work of the ship should take no more than 2 days once power source is collected.
All right, let's get to work.
What is the location of the power source?
Power source is located in a lab just to the south of here, approximately 2 hours travel. However, due to environmental restrictions and overgrowth, easiest access is through a former tunnel.
Okay.
All right.
More tunnel diving.
Yes, that once our city's vehiculars that would travel through the city itself and move us used.
Any vehiculars left for us?
There are currently no vehicular items left. They have largely been decomposed naturally over time, or eaten by creatures that developed a taste for certain types of metal.
I can understand that.
On our way there, I will not be able to, throughout the tunnel, activate sonic disruptors. So, if any creatures do make a move against you, feel free to defend yourself or run. Creatures that make such a dark space home usually only travel at night, so exiting the tunnel would be a valid way to avoid them if you do not wish to destroy a part of our experiment.
I turn to Evie and I ask, you are smart, Blob. You think you can replicate whatever device, the disrupting device? With the buzzing?
The buzzing will cause structural damage to the tunnel and may cause a collapse, which would bury you in a bunch of rubble.
All right, so let's not do that then.
A problem, I see. So no buzzing. We just deal with creatures. It's fine.
Yeah, I have not seen any life forms here that seem to pose a significant threat, so
Yeah.
I'm certain we'll be fine.
Former lab information can be provided on console, and then the console lights up again. And Evie, you just see the console light up, and there's just information on the former lab's experiments. It was experimenting with the adaptation of Feywild flora to the terrestrial environment.
You know, I am certain that if this planet, your experiment, could feel, I think it would be very grateful for the work that you have done.
Yes, and of course, we will be, whilst you are collecting this information and repairing the ship that we will be providing you, producing a physical copy of our research for you to take with yourself so far. All that we ask is that you delete the ship's navigation data upon exiting our system so that other organics cannot come here and disturb the experiment until it is completed.
Sounds reasonable.
Erase traces for anti-colonization. I understand completely.
Well then, thank you very much. If we are agreed, then we can be on our way.
Right.
They lead you through another tunnel of light to like the back end of this area. It opens up. The drone continues to follow. The underpass should be just down this way. And as you approach this huge tunnel, like it is an absolutely huge tunnel. It is
Secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
Tunnel.
like if you have dark vision, you can't see the other side of it. It is long.
Okay. Good to know.
And yeah, as you're approaching this tunnel, Rash notices something inside of it. A little bit far in the tunnel, you see a very familiar set of eyes. And that's where we're
Eyes
going
in
to
the
end tonight's session.
Here, kitty.
So So everyone, thank you so
What?
much for coming to tonight's episode of the Astral Calling on twitch.tv/tabletop rolls. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching us on Twitch and haven't done so yet, give us a follow. A frog will hop across the screen.
Hoppy
Otherwise,
hop hop.
it'll help us a lot if you share this with your friends. If you're enjoying the story and want to get some more people here to experience it with you, share it with your friends. We're only 2 episodes in. Now's a great time to jump on to a new campaign. And as you see,
There's no lore yet.
there isn't. There is not any lore yet, but we've gotten some like deep lore for the universe for people who'd watched the last campaign tonight. So thank you all so much for coming. Don't forget to check out those other shows, and of course we'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Good night, everyone.
guys. See you, Space Cowboys.